Are the Mets serious here in 2025? A new team has new city connects. And looks like we have a couple players that are putting up some great performances, like Heliot Ramos and Eugenio Suarez. All that and more on Late Night Baseball. That's Parker. I'm Anthony. Parker, how are you today?
Doing well, doing well. My weekly update on the Red Sox. They are currently up 10-2 in the bottom of the ninth against the Toronto Blue Jays. So looking like it's going to be a good night for me. How are you?
I'm well. I'm well. I honestly, you're really lucky I'm here talking to you today, Parker, because I could be watching Andor right now. But instead, I chose to be here with you. Have you been watching any Andor whatsoever?
Okay, man. I never watched the first season.
Wait, what? Are you
I,
kidding?
I haven't
What the
watched it
hell is
yet.
wrong with you?
I know. No, I haven't watched the first season, and my wife and I have talked about catching up and watching the second season. But the problem for Andor right now is that we are halfway through the first season of Severance, so we're our detention is sufficiently held right now.
Well, if anyone knows anything about Parker and I, you know that we're very much into Star Wars as well. I kind of gave it away. But Andor's been fun. For those of you who are watching it, drop in the comments. Let's talk Andor. We're not just about baseball here. But Parker, there's been a lot going on, as it always is in baseball. And I feel like every week we get through this season, we just see some crazier shit. And I want to start with some of
hmm
these epic performances before we talk about the Mets, because we have a lot to say about the Mets. But
hmm
Parker, there was some crazy baseball performances over the last few days. The first one reigns supreme to me, and that's Eugenio Suarez just going off at Chase Field this past Saturday.
Yeah, Eugenio Suarez had a four homer game. He went 4 for 4, 4 home runs, 5 RBIs. His fourth home run tied the game 7-7 in the bottom of the ninth. Absolutely insane performance by him. It's so cool to see a 4 homer game. Apparently, they just happened for the Diamondbacks because if I'm not mistaken, the last one was when JD Martinez was a Diamondback. 4 homer games are awesome. And to do it in the fashion he did, where he, ties the game in the bottom of the ninth, puts his team, in the fight and over the course of the game, that's really cool to see. You may not see another one of those for who knows. You may not see another one of those for like 30 years.
Yeah, I mean that they're few and far between to say the least, and they didn't even. I mean, to not win that game,
Yeah, I know.
like
Yeah, that
is
stinks.
is that really sucks. Like to have a guy go off like that, you're winning that game 99.8% of the time.
Yeah, you got to win that game. You got to win
You
that game. It feels very like Angels. If it would be hilarious if like that had happened to Trout, like he would hits 4 home runs, and then the Angels lose like 10-8, and you're like, oh, awesome.
well, and this is he's going to be a key cog for this Diamondbacks team. I mean, this is a guy who he's certainly has a power uptick, right? He's definitely
Oh yeah.
increased that power this year pretty significantly, and the plate discipline the plate discipline's also improved, right? So his walk rate actually improved to 11.4 over season to season, and it, when you talk about we talked about the Diamondbacks a lot over the last few weeks when you talk about like even guys like Corbin Carroll going off and getting hot. Like our biggest question with the Diamondbacks, I feel like a tale as old as time with a lot of these teams is always pitching.
Mm-hmm.
If they can keep this offense going, and you kind of cross your fingers and hope that the Giants aren't for real, they could find themselves in an interesting position when you start to think about whether or not the Padres can kind of keep up the hot streak. A lot of ifs in the NL West, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Well, that's because in the NL West you have this like what feels like an unstoppable force, and what has proved to really not be an unstoppable force in the Dodgers, and
Mm-hmm.
everything else is an exception to the rule. And when you have a situation like that, these games like a 4 homer game from Eugenio Suarez, you need to start converting those into wins. You need every single inch you can get against this team that occupies a spot in your division. So while the standings right now don't necessarily reflect that it is the best team in baseball, it's certainly the most talented team in baseball. I think we would all agree. So when you're trying to make a comeback or make a case for the division against a team like the Dodgers, you got to do everything right. So I don't know. That's kind of where I stand on that. Hey, Eugenio Suarez, though, his savant page is pretty interesting. He's kind of middle of the road in a lot of categories, but all the stuff you want to see from a power hitter is right there, blood red. Expected slug, he's 92nd percentile. Average exit velo, 94th percentile. Barrel percentage, 95. Hard hit percentage, 95. Dude can swing it, and he's going to whiff, and he's going to do all that stuff on the way there, but he's going to hit some home runs.
Yeah, he sure will. Parker, if I told you at the end of April that the Giants and the Dodgers would be tied for first in the National League West, what would you have said to me?
I think you called me crazy for how high on the Giants I was during the predictions,
I did.
I'm gonna go ahead and say I saw it coming from a mile. I'm just kidding. I didn't see this coming from a mile away, but I did see this division being very competitive. I mean, unfortunately, there's only 3.5 Major League Baseball, 4.5 Major League Baseball teams in this division. It's the Dodgers, Giants, Padres, Arizona, Diamondbacks, and then the Colorado Rockies are 4-24. But everybody else is, a winning baseball club, and the Dodgers and Giants both being 19-10, speaks to the talent that's in this division. I don't know. I also just think the Giants will fall off a little bit towards the end of the season. I don't think you can count on the seasons that you're getting from Jung-Hoo Lee. I don't think you can count on the season that you're getting from Jung-Hoo Lee currently. But it is cool to see.
Right. It is cool to see. I will say, these Rockies, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's interesting about the Rockies, and I can't believe I'm going to say this out loud, but I just need to say it. It's going to help. It's going to help the ego. Is as bad as the White Sox were in 2024.
Yep.
Could we see that historically bad team all of a sudden fall from the history books because the Rockies the following year are the next historically bad team?
Dude, maybe. Like,
That's
I don't know.
crazy.
That is crazy. It's crazy. They are 4-24. Is that on pace? I think that's on pace.
It is. I'm looking up right now.
Okay. Well, right now
I want to see.
Their best player who's played more than 20 games OPS wise is DH Hunter Goodman, who has 5 home runs with a 827 slugging percentage. Jordan Beck, he's also hitting the cover off the ball with 1,000 OPS, but that's only in 18 games. He's got about half the plate appearances of Goodman. I don't recognize any of these names, man. The first name I noticed, Mickey Moniak, I recognize because he was a former Angel. I saw him play, but he's got a negative .1 WAR. Their WAR leader in the clubhouse, Hunter Goodman, with a half of a WAR. It's not good. It's really not good. And they can't pitch either.
They are at a winning percentage of 0.143, so 14%, give or take. I was being generous. If they were to stay at a 14.8 winning percentage, they're winning 24 games in 2025. 24 and 138.
No way. That's
crazy. That seems impossible, right? It seems impossible.
Yeah, it seems impossible. You know what else seems impossible? They have a team ERA in the 5s. There's not a starting pitcher in that rotation. The 5-man starting rotation of all the pitchers that have made starts for this team, none of them have an ERA below 4.7.
Wow. That's baseball, baby. Every time I say there's no way that can happen. It doesn't seem likely, and then I'm proven wrong.
Yeah.
God.
Good news is that the Rockies will definitely not find a way to completely squander any good draft picks they do receive from this type of season.
That's
considering
a good joke.
Nolan Arenado is currently playing for the Cardinals, and I don't know, man. That organization really annoys me. And the problem is that if I had to pick a second team, it's probably the Rockies. Like they play in my family favorite city of Denver. My dad went to high school in Denver, Colorado. I'm a Broncos fan. I'm an Avalanche fan. Go Avs, by the way. They lost last night. Series is currently 3-2 for the Stars. I hate the Stars. And it's really sad to see that the Rockies, like in a city that is so loved for its sports, like the Broncos are historically successful. The Nuggets have been very good recently. The Avalanche are currently the favorites to win the Stanley Cup, or at least they were at the beginning of the playoffs. The
Mhm.
Rockies are just that stepchild, man. And you know what sucks is they have like the nicest ballpark in baseball. So, you know, tails
You
always
know,
time kind of.
true, but I think you look at all these teams, right? And I think you and I always gravitate to like just like checking out, hey, the team at the bottom of the barrel, like what are they up to?
Mm-hmm.
And every team struggling right now that it's in like a rebuild mode, the lower tier teams. White Sox,
Mm-hmm.
A's, Marlins, Pirates are kind of getting out of it. And the Rockies, like every one of those teams, besides the Rockies, you can see where the future is. You can see the plan. You can see the little glimmer of hope. The Rockies just seemingly are in this endless loop of what the hell is going on. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just unlike any other team in baseball.
Absolutely. This team may be, besides maybe the A's, may have the strongest case to like print sell the team shirts. Like
Mm.
it's super unfortunate what's going on up there. I mean, right now you look at the team's leader in plate appearances is Ryan McMahon, 48 OPS plus in
Oh, jeez.
course. So I don't know, man. The Rockies are depressing. They could be such an exciting team to have just in the middle of this like super hotly contested division. I just don't. I don't know. It seems like for a very long time, we were able to see the rise of the Orioles coming. For a very long time, we were able to see, talent accrue on that surprising 2019 Nationals team. For a long time, we've been able to watch the Diamondbacks go from perennial cellar dwellers to being a team that could very feasibly, it looks like at this moment, win the division. Like if they got it together and got hot at the right time. Like you
Mm-hmm.
said, the Rockies don't have that same level of hope. You can't see the pieces of the recipe yet, and that's super disappointing.
Yeah, it is. You know who the Rockies would love to have on their team because his barrel rate and his hard hit rate is just through the roof? That's Elliot Ramos. But
Yeah, man.
Elliot Ramos did not need that barrel rate and contact rate the other day when he little league home run, okay, there in San
Yep.
Fran against the Rangers. That Parker was I think it was more special because of who did it and the way in
Right.
which it happened.
Yeah, absolutely. Heli Ramos, he's not really tearing the cover off the ball. Like this year, he's got a 696 OPS. Um, he does have a 246 average, which like I guess that goes to show you how little batting average means. But
Mhm.
he was able to put the ball in play and make something good happen. And that's like what you tell your kids to do. That's what I tell the kids to do when I'm coaching. That's what everybody on my team tells me to do in men's league. Like you put the bat on the ball, put it in play, good things will happen. And that's kind of what happened. The basically the defense threw the ball around him and threw it almost into the stands a couple times, and he was able to slide in. And John Miller, who may be one of the maybe my favorite voice in all of baseball.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely love the voice of John Miller. He does the Giants radio broadcast. He was the voice of Sunday Night Baseball for years. He was the voice of MLB 2K7, which is the baseball game that I easily have the most hours in. Him and Joe Morgan. He had a great electrifying call of the whole thing. So if you haven't had a chance to listen to that, definitely listen to it. But yeah, I thought it was really funny. I thought it was a cool way to, get yourself a win, especially in a division that like, okay, now that win means something because you are tied for the division lead at 19-10. So yeah, every win means something, and they got it in the most wacky of ways.
Yeah, love a good leadoff or a good little league home run walk off. One thing I wanted to bring up with this is it's pretty incredible. Is if you recall, I even grabbed a screenshot because I wanted to actually show this. It, he stopped at second. He did
Yes. Oh,
not
he was
pick
done
up.
running.
Yes, he did not pick up the sign from the third base coach until he was like, "Oh shit," and then started running after he realized. But
Mm-hmm.
that hesitancy at second is what got him this little league home run. Because if you look at where the ball was then thrown to third, and I want to go ahead and share it with you, is the way that it was thrown was directly in the path behind Ramos. If that ball was not thrown there, okay, that's not an
He's not
overthrow,
scoring. No.
and he's not scoring. Like that's just it's crazy to me how like he just really got lucky.
Yeah.
And if he didn't hesitate, this would not have been a little league home run without a doubt.
No, not even a little bit. No, I love it. I love it. Hustle, put the ball in play. Good things will
Oh,
happen. Win baseball games that way. And he's an exciting player that I hope figures out how to dig himself out of this slump,
yeah.
and get himself onto a level where he can produce when he was almost an all-star last year. Like we were talking about, is he going to be an all-star? He put up 22 home runs with a 791 OPS last year. Let's see more of that from him. I'd like to see that. That'd be cool.
That would be cool. I want to go to New York here, Parker. Something pretty significant happened this past week. Obviously, the Yankees made the big trade with the Brewers over the offseason. They brought in Devin Williams, and it seemingly was going to be a significant piece to put in the ninth inning right after a Luke Weaver to really shut down things for the Yankees. Turns out Devin Williams is hella struggling this year, and he lost his closer role in New York. What the hell do you make of that?
So, I could be the typical Red Sox fan here and say that I saw this coming from a mile away, but I won't. I don't think anybody did. He has been very disappointing this season. He is into the 2025. He has already posted a negative 0.7 WAR. He has a 10 ERA in 11 appearances. He does have 4 saves, but he's given up 10 earned runs. And I don't know, man. Like, this is not what you thought you were getting when you traded away. Now, granted, they traded him for a bucket of baseballs. So
True.
the Brewers really kind of, I think they knew what they were looking for. And I also think that the reason that was the price that was agreed upon is because when you look at his playoff numbers, Devin Williams has been god awful in the playoffs. He has pitched a total of 2 1/3 playoff innings. And in those 2 1/3 innings, he has a 23.14 ERA. He's given up 6 runs in 2 1/3 innings with 4 walks and looking for strikeouts, 2 strikeouts. So and even if, we can play the whole, okay, you know what? There is hope. He is getting very unlucky because his FIP is only 13.48. So he's getting unlucky out there in the playoffs. But I joke, but this is super concerning for a team that really wanted to solidify that closer role and thought what they were doing was, okay, we lost Clay Holmes. We still have Luke Weaver. He was very good in the playoffs. So what you do is you sign a proven closer, the closer for Team USA, as they all loved to point out when he was traded there.
Oh.
And, from here we go. And they just haven't gone. He hasn't gone. He has not provided the value that they thought that they were acquiring when they traded for him.
I start thinking about why that is. What contributes to that? And certainly we are not in these organizations, and we're certainly not, on the mound as a pitching coach. But what I can tell you, just looking at the data, is it seems like number one, he's relying on that changeup a lot more. I mean, when you're, I understand it's the airbender, right? Solid changeup. Appreciate that. Love it. We all love that pitch. Having said that, I get nervous when you're relying on a changeup 50% of the time. Yeah. And if you're relying on that changeup 50% of the time, and people, I mean, this year, the barrel percentage on that changeup is up, right? The average exit velocity on the changeup for a batter is just up. They are reading that pitch unlike they have in the past. So there is an adjustment that Devin Williams needs to make, and he better make it quickly.
For sure. He's 2-pitch pitcher. He throws the 4-seamer and he throws that changeup, and that changeup breaks like a screwball. It's crazy. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you can't be throwing. He saw a lot of success for a lot of years throwing the changeup, even more than he's currently throwing it. But I don't know if he's just maybe lost a tick on it, which is, you can't say that about a changeup, but like, I don't know what happened, but he is no longer throwing any pitch besides the changeup and the 4-seamer. Over the last few years, he has had at least a what I will call a cutter, but is what is probably a bad slider to mix in at a single digit % rate to even keep the hitter guessing a little bit. He has completely abandoned that for the first time in his career. And it is just change up, four seam. And he's almost like, I almost want to see him get back to where he's throwing the changeup 64% of the time and actually throw it more, but have them be higher quality pitches, because you're going to live and die by that changeup. So get in the lab, fix it, and then just throw only that changeup.
I don't. It's interesting. I agree with you 100%. Looking at just some of these kind of 2024 values compared to the 2025 values against his changeup is pretty remarkable. So what I'm looking at here, what I'm going to share is batter performance against that changeup. If you go to 2024, batting average against the changeup 162. This year 273.
Yeah.
I mean that's stunning. You go to even the whiff rate on that changeup went from 48.8% to 22%. Strikeout rate over 50% to 16.7%. That is, I feel like pitchers, we see these ebbs and flows with pitchers all the time, but that is a pretty significant drop off that is quite rare.
It is, when you look at his last full season, Devin Williams' Savant page is a bloodbath. He is far and away the greatest, like most dominant relief pitcher in the game at the time in 2023. Misses a lot of time last year for a stress fracture in that shoulder. And this was one of those injuries that even at the time was like, yes, it's going to heal, but if you're getting stress fractures in your shoulder, you might get more, or it might just re-aggravate at random points in time. And I don't know Devin Williams. I'm not part of the Yankees medical staff. But one thing I will say is he's playing like that's an issue. He's playing like he's pitching like he has a nagging pain or discomfort or even just a mental block to do with that injury that is causing maybe a mechanical breakdown or something to happen where he's just inherently more hittable. Because right now, if you look at his Savant page, it's ice cold. And it seems weird that would happen so drastically after one injury.
No, I mean that's true. Steve Stone, color analyst for television for the White Sox, obviously longtime pitcher, great dude, super smart guy. I love hearing him on the broadcast. And one of the things he says constantly, he must say it like a ton of times each season, is the best pitchers know how to pitch when they have their B stuff, not their A stuff, but their B stuff. And this is what I've always worried about for Devin Williams, is like he has such A stuff. This is, I think, also like a general closer problem, because you put folks with the A stuff into pitch one inning every couple days. But he needs to learn how to pitch with B stuff. I don't know that he knows how to pitch with his B stuff.
Yeah, maybe not. He's never had it. He's always had, since he broke in, he has had maybe the best singular pitch in baseball in that changeup. And the problem that we're also seeing a pretty stark fall off, well, maybe not stark, but definitely several percentage points, is the fact that he was getting people to swing at pitches out of the zone when he's successful, that swing percentage, the rate at which he throws a pitch outside the zone and induces a swing from the batter, he loves to hover around the 36 to 34, 33%, and that's steadily a little bit fallen off over the last few years. But where he's at his best is 36 to 34%. It's only 30% right now, and that doesn't seem like a lot, but it's somewhat significant. But here's where we're actually going to really parse these numbers. Contact percentage, which is, okay, now I have induced the swing. Are you making contact with the baseball? And where he's at his best has been 47, 50% of the time when they do swing at the ball outside the zone, they're making contact. We're at 68.4% right now. So not only is he inducing a swing let's talk about this in the context of Devin Williams. He's throwing a changeup. He's throwing the the airbender changeup. It is breaking below the zone and into a right-handed hitter a little bit. So he's inducing swings on pitches below the zone. You can hit pitches below, you can hit pitches below the zone a very far way. If he's inducing less swings out of the zone, and when he does induce those swings, they're making more contact. Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of people barreling up that changeup, and when it's a changeup, especially, that's a batting practice fastball, man. So I really like. I truly believe that this might be something where he has just lost a little bit mechanically. It could, with a reliever, man. It could be the smallest thing, a seam shift in his grip on the changeup, and boom, he's back to being 2023 Devin Williams and the most unhittable reliever in baseball. So, am I worried? No. But he kind of needs to figure it out at least before the playoffs start, because the Yankees they traded for him for a reason. They need him to be Devin Williams of old for a playoff run.
Yeah, they do. They really do. The Yankees seemingly have everything going for them right now. And let's just hope their bullpen. I say hope very lightly, but let's hope their bullpen, for in their case, stays intact. I want to go, Parker, to talking about someone who's had, honestly, kind of an up and down week, and it's your main man, Jaron Duran.
Yeah.
He did something pretty cool the other day, but also he's getting some shit from fans, which I mean, I'm not even going to say anymore. Tell us about it.
Yeah. So I just want to go ahead and put out a little bit of a warning here. If talking about suicide or suicidal ideation or anything like that is triggering to you, maybe skip the next 5 minutes. So what happened the other day? I mean, for those of you who haven't watched The Clubhouse on Netflix, it is a documentary following the Boston Red Sox. Jaron Duran is one of the prominent characters in the show, and he was very open about his struggles with mental health, and he was very open and detailed about a suicide attempt where he attempted to take his own life, and then it didn't work. I'll leave it at that. He has been almost universally praised for this. He has been an advocate for getting help. I think it's called the Samaritans is the organization that was specifically shouted out on the broadcast in correlation with that episode of the documentary, and they saw what they said the most traffic on their line seeking help that they had ever seen, in correlation with the Jaron Duran episode of the documentary dropping. So he's been doing a lot of good work, and he's been an advocate for mental health and mental health struggles. And then when he was in Cleveland, some fucking asshole decided to tell him to kill himself when he had the chance. And Jaron, rightfully so, got pretty fired up, kind of went after the guy. He was held back by teammates and coaches. And the fan was subsequently ejected from the game. An apology was issued by the Cleveland Guardians. I want to point something out. Number one, the Guardians had no reason to apologize. We appreciate the apology, kind of thing. It wasn't them. It's not the Guardians organization, and it's not the Guardians fan base that did this thing. It was just some probably drunk asshole. And then the reaction from the fans in the ballpark was not just Red Sox fans that were mortified. Of course, it was also the Guardians fans. So I don't think there's anything to be said other than, like, that was a dick move. Let's never do that again as a community. And if somebody does, let's hold them accountable, because he was ejected from the game. Major League Baseball officially has gotten involved in this. I don't know what the exact punishment is going to be. I personally would like if he never went to a Major League Baseball game again. But that's not my decision to make. So it's horrible to say something like that. And yeah, let's not do that.
Yeah, well, I think the previous history, or the most recent history of Major League Baseball handing out punishments for stuff like this is in our favor. I mean, they're pretty strong with punishments when fans are acting out of sorts, and I suspect that he may get a lifetime ban. I think that's very much on the table. But at the end of the day, I mean, this comes down to just having empathy for another human being, whether they play baseball or not. I mean, whatever your relationship is with them. Like, it's like, I don't care if you're out with the bros. I don't care what you're drinking. I don't care what you're doing. Like, we live in a society, and I don't mean to make it so meta like this, but we live in a society where the ability to have empathy for someone going through something like that and understand someone else's struggle has seemingly gone out the window now more than ever. And this is just an example of that. It's bullshit.
Yeah. You and I have spent the majority of our baseball lives watching teams that are from some of the most impassioned and vocal fan bases in baseball. I've never heard some shit like that being said at the baseball field.
No.
And I like, dude, Boston is rowdy, and you're going to games in Southside Chicago 20, 30, 40 times a year. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It sucks. Let's never do that again. Let's support each other and let's help other people tell their story to help the people that need to hear that story and realize they're not alone and they have help in their troubled times and in when they need it most. However, the game before that might have been what got that guy all riled up because Jaron fucking Duran stole home in the game prior to this. And I kind of
Sure
want to
did.
fucking talk about it.
There, go to town. Go to town.
So it was 16 years to the day. Jaron Duran wears number 16, by the way. 16 years to the day after Jacoby Ellsbury had the last straight steal of home in Red Sox history. 16 years to the day later, Jaron Duran, straight steal of home. Lefty's on the bump. He's taking his time getting to the plate. Jaron's doing the dance up and down the third base line, and you're kind of looking at him like, he might be able to. Oh my God, he's running. And Dave O'Brien had an electrifying call. It was awesome. He got in under the tag, replay review, because my wife, it was so funny. I was watching the game with my wife. She saw the replay and she was like, why are they even reviewing? He was clearly safe. And I told her, I was like, because as a manager, you got to stick up for your guys. I don't care if he's safe by 30 feet. You have got to challenge that play and expend all resources to try to get that play overturned. But it was super cool. And so that was in the second game of the series. And the third game of the series is when the comment happened. Jaron had a decent game in the third game of the series. And then to lead off the game in the next game after the comments, to lead off the game today, Jaron Duran hit a home run in Toronto. First batter of the game. So I think he's going to be okay. He has been on a tear the last week and couldn't be happening to a better guy. So I'm happy to see it.
You know what we should do? We're going to create content just right here. We're going to come up with ideas for the people. You know what I think we should do next week? That'd be really fun. Is you should come up with, we should go position by position and make a lineup. You have to select only players at each position that played with the Red Sox for 1 year. I have to pick a team of White Sox that have only played with the White Sox for 1 year and who can make the best lineup.
Okay. How deep are we going? Full 5-man starting rotation?
Let's do 1 through 9 in the field, 5 starters.
And then a closer.
Okay, we'll do a closer. Yeah, I like that. And we'll see.
Yeah, and the closer can just be any relief pitcher.
Yeah, let's do that. Any relief pitcher. Yep.
All right, I'll prep this. This is going to be good. I have. Let me just say, I got the best third baseman.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
I have the better third baseman. I promise you that.
Okay. All right. I'm very much looking forward to this. We can just skip to next week and do that. Yeah, this is great.
Absolutely.
I want to share with you an idea before we get to our big topic. I do want to talk about the Mets, but I'm clearly stalling because I feel like that's going to be the bulk of the rest of our conversation. But I want to share with you something really cool. So, Parker, if you could get any non-baseball person to sign a baseball, who would you have sign it?
Non-baseball person, just like
total rando, not related to the sport at all.
Oh boy. I don't know why I know why. Two people came to mind. I know why Robert Downey Jr. comes to mind because I've been rewatching the Marvel movies recently, and I don't think we give him enough credit for just putting the whole franchise on his fucking back. Like he was the first two Marvel movies that aren't that bad Hulk movie are Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2, and he's spectacular in both of them, of course. So Robert Downey Jr. comes to mind because he's been on the mind lately. And the other one is Tom Hanks. I think I would love a Tom Hanks autograph on a baseball just because he's a huge baseball fan, like keeps score on a sheet of notebook paper was keeping score of Dodger games, in recent memory. So like, yeah, big baseball fan. Love that. I think it would have to be those two guys for me.
Wow, that's cool. I would have definitely picked Tom Hanks as well. He would have been high on my list. The reason I'm asking this is because for those of you who know me, may not know, I'm an avid collector of things. And one of the things I collect, it's either Star Wars or baseball for me, and I collect Star Wars autographed things, memorabilia. And I surprisingly, I think it'd be surprised people to know I don't have that many autographed baseballs. It's just something I never gotten into until recently.
Hmm.
I do have a Greg Maddux signed ball is
Oh,
one.
that's cool.
Yes, really excited about that one. So what I wanted to do, my wife and I were talking about this last week. Um, we want to do a wall in our house lined with baseballs. If you've seen those walls that are just lined with baseballs,
Yeah.
we want to
Yeah.
collect. We want to build an autograph collection of autographed baseballs from anybody. Doesn't have to be. It could be
Okay.
just a wall of baseball signed by significant people. And so we're going to start that collection. And I'm super excited for it. It starts this year. We're going to go collect some Star Wars autographs. We're going to try to do some more baseball ones, but I'm pumped.
Yeah, I love that. I love the idea of somebody who has nothing to do with baseball signing a baseball because it's not the easiest thing to
Yeah.
sign.
No, it's not. And like also it's very unique. Like who is gonna
Yeah.
like for example, I'm a big fan of The Office. I think you are too.
Yeah.
Getting Rainn Wilson to sign a baseball. Who the hell has a Rainn Wilson signed baseball? Like nobody. Like
Yeah,
it's
you
something
have a
really
one of one.
cool. Right. It's a pretty cool little different thing that we're gonna collect. So I'm looking forward to that. I thought you'd get a kick out of that.
Yeah, that's cool. Fun fact about me, I have 0 signed baseballs.
That's very surprising.
I actually
Very surprising.
I have 0 signed anything baseball. I have collected almost no memorabilia. I have baseball cards somewhere. I've never been a memorabilia guy. I do have a signed copy of Heir to the Empire by Timothy Zahn.
Ooh,
Like
okay.
a signed, I think it's the 25th anniversary special edition. It's in like the silver cover. But a really dear
Nice.
friend of mine gave that to me as a going away gift when I left. I moved away from Massachusetts. And so I have that, but that's about it in terms of autographed stuff. It would be in this room if it was here. I think maybe my copy of Faithful by Stephen King is signed, but I don't
That's actually
remember.
really cool.
Yeah, that would be, I
Stephen
guess, a baseball
King.
autograph. Stephen King, massive Red Sox fan. Massive Red Sox fan.
Oh man, that's cool. Let's just get notorious White Sox and Red Sox fans to sign shit. That'd be great.
Yeah, there you
All
go.
right.
Before we go Mets, I think we got a couple more things to touch on. You guys got new City Connects, right?
Ooh, yes. Okay, so I want to share with the people, the fine people. Here in Chicago, we have unlike the Dodgers, sorry, no hate. We actually do really good job with City Connects. And they killed it again. Let me pull it up for you folks. They killed it. The Cubs are the Whites. Wow, I said the Cubs. The White Sox with their City Connects. They went ahead this time rather than the black and white South Side look. They went ahead and they did some collab with the Chicago Bulls. So that's what we're
Yep.
looking at as far as those new City Connects for Chicago that they'll start to wear this Friday. Actually, May 2nd is the first night that they're wearing it. We have a nice kind of Chicago Bulls jersey text in the front. That hat heralds back to the 70s kind of sock look with the red that the White Sox wore in the early mid 70s, and it's just so sharp, Parker. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of, hey, this is how I've explained it to people. I think the White Sox are just in a very unique situation that other teams aren't because number one, their normal jerseys and color scheme is just tight all the time, and two,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
have so much going for it design wise that you can't really f these out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and the way I described it to you was I think this might be the first time that Jerry Reinsdorf owning both teams has helped the White Sox instead of hurt them. Because the collab with the Chicago Bulls was as easy as just do the thing. It was he owns both teams. The neckline is super cool where it's got all the championships in White Sox and Bulls history.
Yep.
Highlighted in different colored text on the neckline. I love the fact that they kept the pinstripes in, but also did it in Bulls colors. I think everybody is a little bit of a Bulls fan because of Michael Jordan, like at least a little bit. Yeah. So, I mean, they did great. And not only did they do great with the uniforms, but the hype video leading to the release of the uniforms
Oh,
is so good. If you haven't seen that, definitely go watch that. But big fan, big fan of these jerseys.
also, you pointed this out to me, and I honestly did not even think about it until you texted me. You said bread, black and red. Like
Yeah,
that's genius,
it
genius.
was they alluded to it in the video. They said uh bread something, like they made the word come together where it was like black and red. But yeah,
Amazing,
bread is super cool.
man. So yeah, these are 2.0 City Connects. We're getting 2.0 City Connects across all of
This is
baseball. So
definitely
every
this is definitely the best two, like, combined, right?
I would honestly,
I think so.
unbiased, yes, I think so. I think so.
Yeah. I think that Cincinnati could very easily, if their second one is fire, then you guys might have a run for their money because the Cincinnati ones are very good.
Yeah, yeah.
Who are also really good City Connect
I
ones?
love the Padres one, man. I
The
love the
Padres one's good.
Padres.
Padres one's good. I wouldn't put it in that tier though. Um,
I like the Royals. The Royals one I really like.
the Royals are really nice. You know what's been growing on me, and I'm gonna get laughed off of this podcast for it. You know which ones have been growing on
Oh
me?
my
The
God.
Rangers.
Are you Yeah, yeah, you are gonna get laughed off, and it's gonna be by my ass. What are you talking about? Those are the worst. How dare you? With the
I
Peagle, they're literally the shittiest of them
listen,
all. The
listen. We're gonna pretend the Peagle doesn't exist for a second.
My
But
God.
we opened the season against the Rangers, and Jack Leiter's first start was in the City Connects, and honestly, like, they kind of got a cowboy vibe to him.
It's because it's Jack Leiter. You're a Jack Leiter stan. That has
Maybe
nothing to
I'm a
do with the
Jack Leiter guy.
jersey.
That's what it is. I'm just a Jack Leiter guy. I don't know. I don't hate them like I used to. I don't hate them like I hate the new Dodgers ones. I don't
I
like the new
I don't
Dodgers ones.
True, true. I mean, to be fair, I don't say that I hate anything. I do heavily dislike them. I just
Yeah,
don't
that's
think
fair.
they just look so terrible. They're
You,
oh, wow.
you know what ones don't get enough love, I think, is because they're not a good team. But Miami's are really good. I really like the Red Miami City Connects.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
the Braves are spectacular. I think the Braves are up there with the White Sox as far as like best City Connects.
Yeah, that's true. And it's just them leaning on their classic look, really.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see the Pirates have a really good one that doesn't say "Puh" on the front. That would be
Yeah,
great.
that'd be great. The Pirates' alternate jerseys are better than their City Connect. Like, the black jersey is just better than their City Connect.
Correct. 100%.
Yeah,
Can we bring back like just the vests across all of baseball, please?
I
Can
love
we
them.
bring back the
I
White
love them.
Sox vests with the black short sleeves? Oh, they were the best.
Uh,
Man.
the Rockies gray vest with the purple sleeves though can no, that one's bad. But
You don't?
the black
Oh, the
vest was
black.
good, but the gray, it was
Gotcha.
like their gray pinstripe said Colorado. It was a vest with
Yep.
they would wear purple sleeve. Terrible. It was terrible.
Mm.
They just cut the sleeves off of their away jersey, but the black
Good point.
jersey was spectacular.
Yeah, those are the Todd Helton days, friends.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. The 2007 got swept in the World Series by the Red Sox days.
Ah, yes, yes, good times. All right.
Matt
Let's
Holliday
let
Rockies days.
Yes, yes. Let's get to it, Parker. I really want to end the night talking about our friends
The Mets, baby,
in
love the Mets.
love the Mets, our friends in Queens, because the Mets. I think. Let me just say it this way. Let's set it up this way. We both came into this season saying the Mets could absolutely be the team to watch in the NL East. The
Mm-hmm.
big problem with them was going to be, we thought, the pitching. And we thought that because they were taking a lot of gambles. They were going to go ahead and convert Clay Holmes from a reliever to a starter. They took a flyer on Sean Manaea and bringing him back. A lot of guys that didn't blow you away, and that kind of was similar to what the Royals took the previous year by adding just some kind of veteran guys on 1-year deals and hoping it works. Parker, it's worked. Like
Mm-hmm.
so far. And so like They're 20-9. They're leading Major League Baseball with their record right now. They're 4.5 games in front of the Phillies, leading the NL East. Is this the real deal? Like, do we really need to change the way we're talking about the Mets right now?
I think we do. I think we do. They're a spectacular baseball team so far. Now, there are some concerning numbers a little bit because, like you mentioned, the pitching is the big reason that they're doing well, and especially because of standout performances from guys like Clay Holmes, who is yet to give up a home run as a starting pitcher. By the way, he is
Okay.
sporting a 2.64 ERA. His FIP is 2.18. But what does concern me about him is his BABIP, batting average on balls in play, is 325, which is a little elevated. Um, yeah, the 323 FIP for him, a little concerning. He's getting a little lucky, but hey, well, who am I to complain? He's a sinker baller. He's going to have contact, which means he may have higher BABIP than most pitchers. And right now he has 30 innings, 30 and 2/3 innings without giving up a home run. Guys like Kodai Senga, Griffin Canning, David Peterson, Tyler McGill is an absolute beast. He leaves 75% of runners on base. His ERA is a 1.74. He does have a 307, or excuse me, not 307 FIP. He has a 232 FIP. And by the way, I was an idiot a second ago. The 323 FIP that I said for Clay Holmes, that's his X FIP. So say what you want about the numbers. I don't know. They're all pitching really fucking good. They could
Yeah.
theoretically be pitching like this for a while. I think this is pretty sustainable, especially a guy like Clay Holmes. If he didn't give up a home run all year, like that would be spectacular and amazing and like, oh my God, who does that? But like at the same time, it's the way he throws the baseball. He is a devastating sinker baller. So it's like, yeah, okay, I can see that. No hard contact from him.
I always get I don't know, there's two things that always concern me about especially pitching specifically, and that's two things. Is number one, who do you have in the wings? We talk about this a lot with like the
Mm-hmm.
Dodgers, for example, who have like 13 starting pitchers. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that with the Mets. So they are an injury or two away
Oh
from
yeah.
not being able to keep this up. And then number two, when you look at the guys who are on their injured list, you're looking at guys like Sean Manaea, Paul Blackburn, Frankie Montas, all on the injured list. Now, if you are Carlos Mendoza and you're David Stearns, and you
Mm-hmm.
get those two or three guys back, do you just let them sit in the bullpen or do you mess up a good thing if you have it going? And that's going to be a hard decision for them to make.
Well, I think you have to make the right decision in terms of like, what do I know? What can I expect from people? Like, people are always going to give you crap over what is, considered a good move and things like that. But when you get a guy like Sean Manaea back from injury, you got to give him some starts. You got to give him starts
Yeah.
because he's Sean Manaea, and he's kind of like the big thing that happened in this offseason was bringing him back. And then I also think that a guy like Paul Blackburn, he has 5 years of big league service time, and he's 31 years
Sure
old.
does.
He knows how to get outs at the big league level. He was the best pitcher on the A's for a few years there. I think he deserves some starts. And you know what those kind of guys can do is they can let you skip someone in the rotation. They can let you give another day of rest to your rotation. They can extend your all-star break. They can do things like that to when you have a team that is riding a hot hand like this starting rotation currently is, you need all the help you can get in order to stay competitive. Especially, one more thing for Sean Manaea. Right now, the rotation has one left-handed pitcher in it, and David Peterson. You need one more lefty in there if you can get him
Yeah.
in, and Sean Manaea is
Yeah.
that lefty. And maybe you go to
True.
like, people always talk, are we going to do a 6-man rotation? I don't think anybody's going to do a 6-man rotation, but you know what you might do? You might do 6 through once. You might do 6 through twice.
Sure.
You can always just give everyone a day off. And who knows? Maybe Sean Manaea throws the ball really well. He pitches 6-7 innings, and all of a sudden you gave your bullpen a day off as well. So, super
Right.
impressive to see this happening from the pitching side of the ball from the New York Mets.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely took everyone by surprise. It was the biggest, you mesh them with teams like the Orioles, and we talk about kind of teams that did not, we thought, fortify their pitching enough, but we were proven wrong. And I just hope it's certainly sustainable because if you look at their starting pitchers, they are first in ERA in baseball, second in K through 9, first in home runs per 9. Like it's staggering. I would not have bet any money that after April the Mets would have been in this position with their pitching. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, no, we both had them falling in the division standings because of their pitching. I think both of us had them at least as a wild card team. Um, but when you have a guy like Pete Alonso, who, if the season ended today, I think Pete Alonso's like the NL MVP. He's hitting the cover
That's
off the ball.
crazy. He bet on himself like nobody's business, man. And he did the right thing, but I was not expecting him to have this kind of season. And I bet you have a team like the Cubs looked into him. And sure, you can
Mm-hmm.
say like, oh, they're doing well now without him. But can you imagine that team right now with a Pete Alonso? Like that's the shit I think about. Like all these teams that were like,
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna be in his age 30 season, he's gonna be too expensive. What is he gonna do? And Pete Alonso was like, yeah, watch me.
209 WRC plus at this moment.
1 point.
209.
This is a great frame of reference. You want to think about Pete Alonso and what he's doing so far. We're technically not even through April yet. Okay, we still have tonight and tomorrow here in April, and he has 1.8 WAR. All right, this is a
Mm-hmm.
guy whose 0 of his defense is contributing to that WAR. That's crazy.
Right. Absolutely. He had one of the better Aprils you're going to see. I think back, like, this is never going to go into the same category as when Alex Rodriguez hit like 13 or 14 home runs in April, or when Pujols hit like 13 or 14 home runs in April. But like, to a certain extent, it's as valuable because look at who you're clearing the bases for.
Yeah.
Juan Soto's getting on base. Like, you're giving leads to a pitching staff that desperately needs it. So you're not going to talk about it in the same light. And honestly, it's not the same kind of a season. But when you come out of April with 27 RBIs, scoring 20 runs, 6 homers, like, he's walked 19 times this month.
Yeah.
That's significant, man. He's doing the damn thing.
It's the biggest thing for him, without a doubt, is he has cut that strikeout rate so much.
Yes.
He was at 24.7% K rate in 2024, down to 15.6. That is a precipitous drop. I can't remember the last time I've seen a year-to-year drop like that.
15.6%. I don't know if he keeps that up. If he does, he is a perennial all-star, borderline Hall of Famer.
That's crazy.
If he keeps up a 15% K rate through the course of his career, he's a borderline Hall of Famer. Yeah, good for this guy. I love me some polar bear. I hope he wins the home run derby. I'm back on the Paul Alonso to win the home run derby train.
Don't call it a comeback. Here we go.
Yeah, I want to check back in on Juan Soto
in Atlanta. He'll do it in Atlanta this year if he does it.
Oh, yeah.
That's a story.
Yep. I want to check back in on Juan Soto. So where are we at on him?
So Juan Soto is not, last time I checked, blowing anyone away. And we talked about a couple shows ago why that may or may not be. But right now you're looking at him, 3 homers, 257 average, on base 378. He's only accumulated half a WAR in April. This is not the Juan Soto we saw last year so far.
Not even a little bit, honestly. And I'm looking at, all the barrel percentage is down to 5.7%. This is a guy who's barreling 19.7% of the baseballs that he hit last year. Hard hit percentage is down from 56.8% to 50.6%. Yeah, I don't know. I think that right there, the barrel percentage drop off is going to be the biggest thing, because when he was hitting in front of Aaron Judge, he was hitting the ball 19.7% of the time and he was barreling it up. Now it's 5.7%. And I don't know if it's like somebody discovered a hole in his swing. I don't know what it is. Maybe the batter's eye, and I almost said Shea Stadium. Wow. Maybe the batter's eye in Citi Field sucks or something like that. But this is not significant. And see, the thing is, the underlying metrics are also there for him. Like, he's still not striking out. He's walking at a 16.5% clip, it's the lowest it's been since 2019, his second year in the bigs. It's been, closer to 20% since then, but 16.5% is still up there in elite tiers of drawing walks. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, man. It's weird. It's almost just like for the first time in his career, it's not happening. Like I don't know what it even is, but like it's
That's the
just always
yeah.
happened for Juan.
That's like the perfect way to put it. There's been that it factor with him, which I mean, anytime you're talking about a perennial All Star, future Hall of Fame player, they all have that it factor that's sometimes hard to pin down. But for him, it's a great frame of reference for us understanding how truly good this Mets team is right now when Juan is not playing to his potential.
Mm-hmm.
If he gets cooking, y'all are screwed with this Mets team, right? I mean, it's
How
wow.
what kind of a world do we live in where a player having a 124 weighted runs created plus is him having a down year and not cooking?
That's
You know,
right.
like that's a level of respect and expectation we have for a guy
Yeah.
like Juan Soto. Any other, if Joe Schmo came up and was batting 124, actually, in fact, I want to frame where I'm at because right now Christian Campbell is my favorite player in baseball. I want to know what his WRC plus is currently at this moment. I would not be surprised if it's right along with Juan Soto. Um,
It probably is.
Christian Campbell's
Yeah.
is a 154, so it's 24 points higher than Soto.
Wow.
But like I don't know.
That's
Would you have
crazy.
thought that Christian Campbell was going to have a 24-point higher than Juan Soto or WRC plus?
Not a
I
chance.
actually, it's 30 points higher than Soto.
That's insane. Wow. Wow. I mean, hey, okay, so let's play this out a little bit. Because you said it earlier. We both didn't expect the Mets to be on top of this division. None of us certainly thought we thought the Braves would slip, but not like they've slipped. So let's
Yeah.
revisit the NL East right now. I mean,
Okay.
Parker, knowing what we know through April, do you expect this division to stay pat like this? Do you expect the Braves to resurge, the Mets to kind of come back to the median here? Like, how is this division going to play out the rest of the year based on what you know so far?
I think it'll normalize at the top between the Mets and the Phillies. I think. I think the Marlins are winning more games than I thought they would. The Marlins are currently 12 and 16, so good for them.
Yeah.
I think the Nationals could continue to hover right around 500. I think the Braves, quietly, the Braves have played better baseball of late. Quietly, the Braves are only 2 games below 500. Now, because the Mets have been off to such a hot start, they are 6.5 games back from the division. But
Yeah.
you don't really care about what you are in the division if your whole goal was a wild card in the first place. So my prediction for this division, I think the Phillies do climb a bit because I think they're going to play better than 15 and 13 ball over the course of an entire season. I think the Mets will slow down a bit because I don't think anybody's going 12 and 9 ball for the rest of this, or excuse me, 20 and 9 rate for the rest of the season. And I think Atlanta probably finishes a few games behind Philly. So to answer your question, not the long way. Yes, I do see it changing, but not that much. I think that Philly and New York will be at the top of this division at the end of the year, just 1 and 2, 2 and 1 and 2, 2 and 1, whatever that is.
I think I agree with you for the most part. I think the one thing that is kind of a hot take here is I think I've lost faith in the Phillies. Honestly,
Really?
I think I have. I think there's enough. I just thought they would be in a better spot than they have been. They usually start off April and May pretty strong. I just
Mm-hmm.
expected them to be well beyond where they would be right now. I think their bullpen is showing some inconsistency. I think that's a problem.
Yep.
I just when you look at how strong the Mets are, the Braves, as you said, aren't going anywhere. I think if this Phillies team does not get a playoff spot, and maybe even if they don't win the division, I think Dombrowski's taking a really hard look at that team that right now has spread money across many veterans. I just don't know that if they don't come out of this division looking like kind of an earth-shattering team at come September October, I think this team looks a lot different next year.
Uh, I have to agree with you, and I'm looking at the numbers now, and this is why. Right now, the best players in the team by WAR are both at .8, and that's Kyle Schwarber, or excuse me, Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber. They both have .8 WAR. Bryce Harper has a 121 OPS plus. Kyle Schwarber has a 149 OPS plus. After that, excuse me, what I was going to go with that was if it wasn't those two guys at the top of the leaderboard for them, if it wasn't those two guys leading the charge, I'd be like, wait till Schwarber and Harper get going. But they're
Right.
going. So, like, this is kind of peak of powers for this Phillies team.
Correct.
I'm not
Where
sure.
Where you getting the rest of it? Where are you getting the rest of it?
Right. And, like, the pitching, let's look at the pitching real quick. Zach Wheeler, of course, has 37 in the third innings pitched already. Goddamn. The pitching's already. Yeah, no, dude, this is the Phillies. This is who they are.
Yeah.
Because every single one of these starting pitchers, save for Aaron Nola has a 77 ERA plus. So he's pitching worse than we would expect from him. I have a feeling he'll figure it out to a little bit. Zach Wheeler, 114. Jesus Luzardo, 238 ERA plus. Christopher Sanchez, 121 ERA plus. And Taijuan Walker, 150 ERA plus. You're not going to get a 150 ERA plus from Taijuan Walker over 162. You're just not going to get that. So you're actually overperforming in the pitching department. And the guys you needed to click offensively, they've clicked as much as they're going to, and I'm not expecting anything else out of JT Realmuto other than, you know, he's currently I would expect more than 650 OPS, but like he's a catcher, so like whatever. Nick Castellanos is a 789 OPS. That's kind of who he is. Trey Turner, need more from him, 675 OPS. But then here's the thing. What is going on with Alec Bohm? He is a negative whole win under replacement. He is a currently hitting to the tune of a is that his OPS? No, that's his slug. I thought he had a 375 slug. He is a 527 OPS, 47 OPS plus. Brandon Marsh is even worse. Brandon Marsh has a 10 OPS plus.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Is like if you just look at this lineup and you go to the Phillies teams of even as recent as 3 or 4 years ago, and you look at the teams that made back-to-back NLCSs, this team's lineup was fortified 1 through 9. When you go to the bottom of this lineup and you're looking at the Max Kepler's, Brandon Marsh's, Johan Rojas's of the world, and now Alec Boehm, this is not a strong lineup as they used to be. They have significantly teetered off here.
They're old.
They're older. It's an older lineup. I know people say, oh, so and so is 34 and 35 and they're having all-star seasons. Yeah, sure, whatever. This is just trends. This is math. This is how these things go, right? Like you can't. Father time is not a battle you're going to win, especially when you play a sport for 15 years and your body's run down. Like I don't know what to tell you guys.
Especially like one of your key offensive contributors for years has been JT Realmuto. He's a 34-year-old everyday catcher. He is correct. His offensive days are probably behind him, and if they aren't, then like good for him. But they don't look like nothing about JT Realmuto tells me that he's going to hit better than he currently is hitting at, you know, like I said earlier, a 650 OPS rate.
100%. And guess what, guys? This is a contract year for JT. And I guarantee you.
Is he a first baseman next year?
Well, that's a fair question. I guarantee you is what I was going to say, but I'm going to take that back. I think that's too strong of a word. My prediction would be I would think that they're leaning more towards letting him walk rather than signing up a defensive first catcher that he's still going to demand good money. I mean, it's just this team's going to look different next year regardless, whether it's because of performance, whether it's because of these guys they're not going to want to pay again. Nicholas Castellanos. I mean, come on, guys. Like this is the Phillies. This is a Dombrowski thing. You know what I mean? Like this is what happens. This is what happens. You know this with Dombrowski teams. Let's go ahead and throw money at everything. Let's get these guys that are either at their prime or slightly past their prime, all the chips in, and then in 2 to 3 years, it just all comes to shit because they're all now aged together, and we got to do this thing all over again. It's the same shit, different day.
Yep. Hey, Dave Dombrowski, I will trade you Connor Wong for Taijuan Walker, straight up.
I'm telling you
right
what? Hey! You want to play that game? I see Johan Rojas is over there fielding center field with a negative .4 WAR. Our negative .1 WAR. Sorry, no disrespect, Rojas. I'll give you Luis Robert. You want Luis Robert? Take him.
What you want? You want Connor Wong or you want Ty Walker?
I want neither of them. Give me someone else. I'm
Yeah.
not giving Luis Robert to you. I'm giving Luis Robert to the Phillies. You already got Crochet.
Well, who do you
Why
want?
don't you
Alec
just
Bohm?
shut it? No. No. They offered him up a couple months ago. That sure as shit didn't work, and glad it didn't.
Did they
God.
really? Oh god.
They did. He was part of the conversations for Luis Robert. He was going to be the main piece. I'm like, main piece my ass. Why? No.
No. He's the player to be named.
God. Oh,
What a weird like this is kind of what did I say at the beginning of the season? And I'm not doing it and I told you so. I'm calling myself out because this is my pick to win the division. Remember, I picked the Phillies to win the NL East.
Yeah.
And I've been picking the Phillies to win the NL East basically for the last 4 years. And this is kind of like I said, this is a what did I told you so to myself of like this was going to happen. The wheels were going to fall off of this Phillies team as they aged at some point, and it's just happening before our eyes. I don't know what their average age is, but I'm telling you that Bryce Harper's 32, Kyle Schwarber's 32, JT Realmuto is 34, Max Kepler's 32, Nick Castellanos is 34, Trey Turner's 32. Like Trey Turner, you also have to pay him for another like fucking decade, so good luck with that. And he's already a bad defensive shortstop and he only has 0.0 WAR on the season. He is the replacement level player in baseball. I don't know, man. This is super concerning. Not a single player is above 1 WAR on this baseball team.
All right, so this will shock you. Oldest teams into the 2025. Who do you think is this is by average age, okay? Which team has the highest average age at 31.48?
The New York Yankees.
No.
The Dodgers?
This will shock you. Yeah, the Dodgers.
The Dodgers. I thought about it and I was like, Teoscar, Shohei. Clayton Kershaw's bringing that up by like a whole year.
Who's the
Except
youngest?
that he's not because he's actually not that old.
No, he's really not. Who's the youngest on this list with 27.41?
Miami.
Correct.
Yeah. 37, wow, Clayton Kershaw. That's prime Justin Verlander years.
Well, that's prime when you consider Rich Hill's trying to make a comeback at 45. All right,
Rich Hill's going to until his curveball no longer curves.
All right, Rich Hill, I love you. Calm down, please. Calm down.
He is going to play some meaningless slaughterhouse innings for a really bad team this year, and it will be a good story.
This guy's going to be the Julio Franco of pitching.
He keeps doing it, man. Could you go into Major League Baseball right now and put up a sub-6 ERA?
No, but I also know that was never going to happen.
Well, Rich Hill could go in right now and probably put up a 5.5 ERA for a bad team. And you know what? That's marketable.
First off, I'm not buying that because if Devin Williams over the course of a month can give you a 10 ERA, I don't believe anything. Nothing's true.
All right,
everything's fake.
We're doing the Rich Hill hour right now on fucking late night because it's late night and it's baseball. Oh my God, this guy's. I can't fit his baseball reference page on one screen.
Of course not.
Over the course of his career, Rich Hill has a 4.01 ERA, most recently pitched in 2024 for my Boston Red Sox and put up a 4.91 ERA.
He has pitched 20 years.
20 years, 17.1 WAR. Hasn't cracked the 100 win mark yet.
What in the world? Well, I mean, guys. Okay, I don't even know what to say to that. Here. I need to ask you. All right.
Never
where is it?
Never once has Rich Hill gotten a Cy Young vote.
Are you kidding me?
Never once. This is a hell of a ref guest page. He does. He has never gotten a Cy Young vote. I'm looking at it right now. Because he would appear somewhere on the Cy Young, like Cy 7 or Cy 23 or whatever, on his baseball reference page, and he does not have a Cy Young vote.
Wow.
In 20
Wow.
years.
I will say I love Rich Hill. Obviously, he's literally been in the sport for as long as we've been growing up following the sport, but he is
Yep.
the definition of the most mid pitcher, right?
Oh, yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
technically, he's literally that because last year he had a 0.0 WAR. That is 4 games, but like 0.0. Wait a minute, did he pitch? Yeah, last year he had 3 2/3 innings pitched. He could give us another strong 3 2/3. I could see Boston bringing him back.
wow. Hold on.
He made his debut at age 25, so like not young.
That's not that. I was gonna say now you can pitch. You can get your debut at 21, 22.
Oh yeah, you as a reliever, especially, you could get your debut at 20 and just blow your elbow out in 2 years and call it a career. Dude, listen to this list of teams: Boston, Dodgers, Cubs, Guardians, Pirates, Rays, Orioles, Yankees, Athletics, Mets, Padres, Twins. When the fuck was he a Twin? And Angels. When did he pitch for Minnesota? 2020. In 2020, Rich Hill made 8 starts for the Minnesota Twins, and he had a 3.03 ERA.
No.
That's insane.
All right, so I looked this up, and from what I can tell, this looks to be accurate. Only 39 pitchers in baseball history have pitched 20 or more seasons in Major League Baseball.
Cy Young, Nolan Ryan. Well, I'm not going to name 30 pitchers.
Go. Name them all. Yeah, go ahead. See how that works for you.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, I got a trivia question for you. How many years did Rich Hill crack the 200 inning mark?
Out of the 20 seasons?
Out of the 20 seasons, how many years did he crack 200 innings?
9. No
None.
way in hell.
Swear to God. 2007 was
kidding?
the closest he... Yep, 2007 was the closest he came. He pitched 195 innings for your Chicago Cubs. And since then, the next closest time was all the way 14 years later, split between the Rays and Mets. He pitched 158 2/3 innings.
That is crazy.
Never really, besides that 195, never really came close. And you think of him as like this innings eater horse.
I mean, really. I mean, and maybe I think about him that way because he was the perpetual, like, I feel like a lot of people equate innings eater to like whoever I can put in the 4th or 5th spot in the rotation. Honestly, it's the same thing in my mind. That's pretty much what Rich Hill was. He was never going to be more than a third number 3 guy. And that's just, that's crazy. Well, thanks everyone for coming to Late Night Rich Hill. I mean, this is what we're doing here.
One more crazy Rich Hill thing, because his baseball reference page is the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life. He pitched those 195 innings in 2007. He did not pitch 100 innings again for almost a decade until 2016, where he pitched 110. He didn't get to 135 until literally a decade, the next year, at 135 2/3 innings.
Wow.
So, like, this guy has done how many saves does he have? No saves.
That is insane. Insane.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right, Parker, we got
to be done, dude. We're in the
burning
weeds.
we're burning
we're
the once we start talking about randos on Baseball Reference, you know we've gone too far. But of course, but I gotta give you, we gotta do our last word, Parker. What's the last word on your end?
I broke my finger.
Oh, no kidding! What?
Yeah, I broke my finger. I was playing short, and ball came and pool cued my middle finger, like right on the tip. And it fractured right above the first knuckle. Recovery time 1 to 6 weeks. So I'm catching a bullpen for a friend tomorrow.
Okay, so last word is Parker. You're on the IL. You're on the 15-day IL at least.
Yeah, I'm week to week with a broken finger.
That is crazy. I, Parker, am going to be at Rate Field tomorrow night. I am going to go to the game. I'm
Nice.
excited. It's going to be the Brewers legend Tobias Meyer, who we saw in spring training,
We
by the way,
did.
and we did, and he's going to be pitching against Shane Smith. I'm very excited to see that tomorrow night.
Oh, that's a good game. Is that why you're going? You want to see Shane Smith?
Partially because of that, partially because I'm dying to get to the team store because I'm getting one of those sick City Connect hats. I'm not going to splurge for the jersey, but I need that hat.
That's awesome, dude.
So that's
I'm
my
happy
plan.
for you. Have fun.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us here at Late Night Baseball. We'll catch you next week. Take care.